nakon sastanka u Banskim dvorima s predsjednikom Vlade gospodinom Andrejem Plenkovićem, potpredsjednik Vlade i ministar obrane gospodin Ivana Anušić i vršitelj dužnosti zamjenika glavnog tajnika NATO-a gospodin Boris Rugea da će vam izjave. Potpredsjedniče, izvolite.
Evo, hvala lijepo. Poštovani gospodin Rugea, dobrodošli. Welcome here in Croatia, in Zagreb. Kao što znate, danas se održava Odbor za obranu i Odbor za vanjsku politiku koji će predstaviti NSAT-u misiju, a konkretno o njoj će govoriti drugi čovjek NATO-a, gospodin Boris Rugea. Radi se o onome što već pokušavamo mjesec dana iskomunicirati i javnosti i putem medija, naravno i putem svega onoga što je dostupno našoj javnosti. I na kraju krajeva došli smo i do zaključka da ćemo to naravno napraviti i sa drugim čovjekom NATO-a koji je danas ovdje došao u Hrvatsku na odbor saborski isključivo zbog tog razloga, objašnjavajući i pokušavajući naravno dati kompletno sve informacije koje javno zanimaju iz perspektive NATO-a, šta je NSAT-u misija, šta ona predstavlja i kakva je ona u konačnici. Ja se zahvaljujem gospodinu Rugeu na dolasku, zahvaljujem se na njegovom trudu da uopće izdvoji vrijeme da dođe i da ode sada na saborski odbor gdje ćemo održati sjednicu. Nakon toga ćemo imati sastanak u ministarstvu i nadam se da ćemo nakon tog današnjeg dana imati, to jest da više neće biti niti pitanje, niti podpitanje kad govorimo o NSAT-u misiju. Evo, hvala lijepo za toliko od mene za sada, pa evo.
Hvala lijepa.
Thank you very much, Deputy Prime Minister. It's a pleasure to be here in Zagreb. Maybe I can start with a few personal remarks. I first started working with Croatian colleagues in 1991 in Bonn at the Foreign Ministry when I was a young diplomat. And I followed Croatia's fight for independence and democracy closely while serving at the United Nations in New York from 92 to 1996. For me, as a young diplomat, it was a formative experience. It had dramatic moments, for example, when Germany recognized Croatian independence as one of the first in December 1991. Today, of course, Croatia is a respected and valued member of NATO and the European Union. And as a member of NATO, Croatia has made an important contribution to the stability of the Western Balkans and beyond. We welcome that Croatia is increasing defense investments with a clear commitment to meet the guideline of spending at least 2% of GDP on defense. And your decision, Deputy Prime Minister, this week to buy 50 new Leopard tanks is an important step towards modernizing your capabilities. You contribute forces to the battle groups in Bulgaria, Hungary, and Poland, helping to deter and, if necessary, defend allies against any aggression. And you are present in the NATO mission in Iraq as well. Let me also thank you, Deputy Prime Minister, for Croatia's contribution in the Western Balkans and specifically your contribution to KFOR, our mission in Kosovo. The Western Balkans is a region that is of strategic importance to NATO, but it is also a region about which we are concerned. We see secessionist threats in Bosnia and Herzegovina. We see a fragile security situation in Kosovo, and we have a dialogue going on between Belgrade and Pristina that is not moving as it should. And on top of this, we see Russia trying to undermine the democracies in this region. NATO has been present here for many years, for decades at this point, and we remain vigilant and ready to act if needed. Deputy Prime Minister, during our meeting, we also discussed Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine, with relentless attacks on civilian targets, men, women, and children becoming victims every single day. For me, I have to say, it brings back memories of the 1990s, the destruction of Vukovar, and the attacks on so many Croatian towns and cities at that time. So we are once again confronted with fundamental issues for European and transatlantic security, and NATO is once again at the core of addressing these challenges. Moscow recently has made gains on the battlefield, and now we have North Korean troops turning up, fighting for Russia, including in Kursk, marking a significant escalation of the support of North Korea to Russia. Croatia has been playing its part in supporting Ukraine. Since the beginning of the full-scale invasion, Croatia has provided Ukraine with 300 million euros in assistance, including 11 defense packages. And I welcome the bilateral security agreement that you signed with Ukraine earlier this month. At the NATO summit in Washington just 3 months ago, allies agreed a robust package of support for Ukraine. It includes a financial pledge of at least 40 billion euros per year. It includes the new command that we have established, NATO Security Assistance and Training for Ukraine, NSATU, which is taking over the coordination of most of the international security assistance that goes to Ukraine. Later today, I will address the Committee for Foreign Policy in the Croatian Parliament on this topic in a joint session with the Croatian delegation to the NATO Parliamentary Assembly. It's a session that will be live streamed. I hope it will help answer questions. I was invited by the chairman of the Foreign Policy Committee and by the head of the delegation to the NATO Parliamentary Assembly. I have certainly not come to lecture anyone, but I am here to answer questions that have been put forward, and I hope this can be helpful. Let me underline one thing. NSATU, our new command, is meant to support Ukraine's sovereignty and its right to self-defense as enshrined in the United Nations Charter. But NATO is not a party to the conflict, and NSATU, the new command, will not make NATO a party to the conflict either. NSATU does not involve deploying troops into Ukraine either. Our support to Ukraine, as our Secretary General has said many times, is not about charity. Supporting Ukraine's ability to remain a sovereign and independent country in the face of Russia's aggression is critical to ensure our own safety and security in the future. So with that, Deputy Prime Minister, once again, many thanks to you and the Prime Minister for having me today. I look forward to the conversation in Parliament that we are going to now. Thank you so much.
Hvala vam lijepa.
Hvala lijepa. Good.